Well, it's the good morning, good afternoon, good evening after the bad morning, bad afternoon, bad evening before. I hope you're all good. I hope you're all well. Welcome to Anglo Management, or should we say Snooze Fest Management.
Watch.
Yeah, obviously myself and my brother, Mr. Ben Kaufman. Ben, how are you? And before you answer that, I just want to say, great job yesterday being called up to the national squad, as we said.
Absolutely, being called up to the national team.
You made your way to the We Are Tottenham TV HQ.
Yeah.
You did a very, very good job and did Tottenham on Tour proud, and your channel, The Coffee Company. How was the experience?
It's a lot of fun. It's a shame the football match didn't match the experience of me being with Sim and just having a laugh, talking some football, watching some football. So a massive thank you to the boys over at We Are Tottenham TV for having me yesterday. It's always a massive pleasure for our two channels to work together. It's almost like House of the Dragon. They are the Targaryens and we're the Valyrians, the Valerians, as it were. So it's that great thing. Brian's like confused because he doesn't understand.
Yeah, I'm going to take your word for it because you've just
like they are the big boys and we're the little ones.
You've just spoken to me like when you get some kind of housing appliance and you get the instruction manual in every language except English.
Yeah.
But
if you know, you know.
Couple of things. First of all, I said something yesterday that I need to apologise for. Yeah. Because Ryan Isaacs proved me wrong.
You need to apologise for being tall again.
No, not at all. Yesterday I said that England in the last 10 or 11 competitions have got into the last game of the group stages not knowing their position or if they're qualifying.
Yeah.
And then Ryan corrected me that 2018 in Russia, we won our first two games. So apart from that one, and then the other thing I will say, which has made me quite cheery today, and I can see my roomie is in the chat already. Yeah. Last night, after watching the crap that was England, my second team, my country I call home, Canada, were playing in the Copa America, and they were playing the World Cup champions, the mighty Argentina.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, we had more fun. I was talking to Tom 81 the whole time through it.
Yeah.
We had, and that performance was a million times more entertaining and more passionate than England's 180. They just attacked. And in the first half, could have been 2 or 3 up. But as what always happens with Canada, they create the chances, don't take them, and then they have to pay the price. But listen, it was a great performance, and I was proud of Canada yesterday. Unlike England,
we should have done Canna management,
mate. Do you know what? Me and Tom 81 could have done that easily.
Yeah.
Today, but they are on, and I'm looking forward to it. They're on again Tuesday. So after England, who we got? Slovenia, isn't it? Or Slovakia? Yeah. Is it Slovenia? Okay. They're on at 11 p.m. UK time on Tuesday against Peru, and I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to that game more than England's. But before we get into Snooze Fest management, let's just do our normal hellos. Just a harmless potato, big up, my man. Active on Wembley, big up. Yeah, listen, we'll talk Levy and Ange on another Tottenham on Tour show. This is solely about the hideous... I would like to say the 3 lions, but I've actually said the 3 kittens because that's what we're seeing.
I'm going to say the 3 blankets you have.
Okay, all the 3 blankets, yeah. Big up my brother from Sweden, Tony Rodriguez, Andrew Gregory. I hope you're good. Andy Fenning, I hope you're good, buddy. I hope you are. I don't think I've seen your name before. If I have, I apologise. Welcome to Tottenham on Tour. Andrew, you're right. Who needs Lopiclone when you've got Southgate? Jazz Fusion, big up to you. DMB forever. I don't blame you, mate. That could have done it. Tom 81, my roomie, is in the building. Tony Rodriguez is saying big up to Ben. As you said, was a great game, wasn't it? That by a country mile, mate. Then we've got audio, we've got KH, and then of course we have Tweak. Now, as we all know how we do this with Anglo Management, just so people are aware, the way we are going to go through this is we will discuss the negatives, which may take some time, the positives, which we will fly through, special mentions, and then we will talk all things Gareth Southgate. So, whilst I wait for Ben, let's start with the negatives. I don't even know where to start. I mean, people in the comments, start writing in your negatives and what you thought of the game. Ryan McFarlane, big up, my brother. I hope you're good. DMB has just joined. And also, let's start this. So, negatives. I'm going to start with, once again, playing the same team. Playing the same team yet again after a very, very lackluster, pathetic performance. He went with the same team. What is it they say? With insanity, keep repeating the same thing over and over again and thinking something different would happen. As Desiree just said, completely agreed with you. The midfield was imbalanced. I mean, when we get to Gareth Southgate, we are going to talk about the pathetic excuse that he came out with, which, quite frankly, to me, was a sackable offence on its own. But playing that same team, I think we all discussed, whether it be us on the channel or other YouTubers or people in the pub or people at work, would have been saying, Phil Foden, wrong position. To get the best out of him, he needs to be more central. Went with the same team again, and it was just so totally predictable. It was so obvious. It was so lethargic. I just don't understand. I mean, at least against Serbia, we started the game with a bit of passion, a bit of desire, a bit of fluidity. We've got Colin. Wait, let me just say hello to some people that come in whilst we're waiting for Ben as well. Colin Cross, big up to you, kind sir. I hope you're good and well. Yup, DMB forever, Georgia. Mate, I will say that I think the two most boringest games of this Euros has been both England games by a country mile. And I just want to say, I don't know if I acknowledged you before, Audio. Audio is probably one of the original. We have close to 8,500, or no, we're approaching 9,000, a couple of hundred off. Audio, I would say, would probably be in the first 100 of the subscribers, so big up to you. Eddie's here. Who else is here? Dan is here. It's, yeah, like I said, getting to the point. This is it as well. That midfield, we're looking at it. I'll just ramble on until Ben comes back because there's loads of negatives I can do. That midfield, and Dan's, I'll bring your comment up as well. Here he is. So sorry, Ben, I'm going to let you talk for a bit.
Yeah.
Daniela, do you know what? I even watched Italy. Good morning to you, darling, or afternoon, I think, where you are. At least Italy are putting performances. But Ben, my first negative whilst you were serving a customer was just going with the same team. Yeah. That's what I'm starting. The same team. It was just so obvious what was going to happen.
Playing a team that wouldn't work. It's absolutely ridiculous. It didn't work in the first game, and Denmark knew exactly how to play against us, which was push us off the ball, play many members in midfield, and just dominate. Højbjerg had Thomas. Højbjerg had the game of his life yesterday. He was excellent yesterday, and anyone that says otherwise is just working off an agenda. That's why he was named man of the match by UEFA. I hated the team yesterday. I hate having a right-footed player at left back. It's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I hated the way we played football. It was a hateful performance yesterday, and it was so Gareth Southgate going 1-0 up and then defending for your life instead of going for the jugular. And Denmark they'll be hard done by that they didn't win that game. I think they deserve to win the game. Apart from the fact they didn't score 2 goals, but that's me saying it.
Before you give your negative, Ben,
as I called it, the inverted cross derby, was Denmark took the first one.
Yep, and I have to say, before you go on with your first negative, Eddie, wish you better, buddy. I wish you better and a speedy recovery. I have seen your comment about a player. I've starred that because we can deal with that at the end. Any questions you guys do have, as we always say, you've got 3 ways of doing it. Yeah. Either put a Q and the minus sign or at TOT. And if you really want to and you're really in a position, but like we said, no obligation whatsoever, please feel free to use a super chat. We will stop everything we're doing to address your comment. Your first negative, buddy.
My first negative is so many of them. That is the problem. That is the problem. There's so many of them. My first negative is the way we set up. And the players have to take a lot of responsibility rather than the coach. It was so static. The players, there's no energy in midfield at all, which is why he had to bring on Conor Gallagher in that second half. But he got an early yellow card after coming on after being absolutely awful. I don't want to see Conor Gallagher play for Tottenham ever. I don't want to see him play for England, really. The lack of energy, that they knew that this was a big game. This was a chance to get qualified for the next round and to make the last game easy against Slovenia. And Slovenia aren't a bad side. They're not a bad side at all. The lack of energy. The lack of energy. We didn't go down the wings, which was where we were actually taking a lot of joy, was down that right-hand side. But we didn't try and move the ball out to the left, mostly because we didn't have a left winger. We played 2 inverted players. We did what Ange Postecoglou has been doing, playing 2 inverted players on the left-hand side. We had no width, which means Denmark only had to defend one side because we weren't even attempting to go down that left. So, yeah, no width, no energy. It was just a crap performance.
I will. Before I go to my next negative, Daniela, of course, I've started, darling. It will be addressed at the end for sure. And thank you for always being here, Daniela. Yeah. We really appreciate it. A load of people have said it in the comments. I'm not going to bring up just one, but I will say, Colin Cross mentioned it as well. Robert Page got sacked today.
Woohoo!
Obviously, don't know the ins and outs. They obviously didn't qualify for a Euros. I don't know if it was a disagree. I mean, Colin, you may know more, obviously, with the news breaking out there in Wales. But they've got to sack their manager. Hopefully, I hope whenever England go out, Roy Hodgson quit at the Euros in France, didn't he? I hope that gets done as soon as possible. But I'm going to there's a couple. Eddie's just brought another one in, but he was one of the ones that mentioned it as well. The negatives. You look at this team, and we talk about your Madisons and your Grealishes not being picked, whatever. One of the things I loved, one of the things I absolutely loved when Gareth Southgate came in is he said, "I'm going to be one of these managers that pick players on form, not name."
And that's exactly what he's doing.
So, well, he is. You look at it. He took Luke Shaw, who hadn't played any football or very, very little.
Instead of Tyrick Mitchell, who's played a brilliant season.
He hasn't been able to get on the pitch now, and we're having to play. We took 3 right backs, and we're having to play one of them at left back. Which, listen, Trippier, who I'm a big fan of, started the season magnificently. From Christmas onwards, went for a bit of a downward spiral, but it's not his position.
Yeah.
If you're going there for a competition, I mean, we spoke about the midfield and Trent. Let's whack Trent in this as well. So you got. I'm leaving Gareth Southgate's comment.
A left back and a right back in the midfield.
So but what I'm saying is, we're going to leave Gareth Southgate's pathetic excuse till we get to Gareth. But he said he was going to pick a team based on form and positions. Yeah, we haven't got a left back. Yeah. The one left back you did pick has had a shambolic season with injuries.
Yeah.
And then you're playing a right back because of his passing range. And let's not get it wrong. Trent Alexander-Arnold's passing range is absolutely magnificent. But there's a reason Jurgen Klopp, who had him for years and years and years and brought him through, didn't say, right, let's move you to central midfield. Yeah, Gareth Southgate thinks a major international tournament is a time to do it. So I'm going to say players out of positions. It's been a huge negative for us, Ben.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. You got to play square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes. And I said him before, we've seen how good Mark Guehi has been in this tournament. I think he's been the best player for England this tournament so far.
100%.
Yeah. Why not play Tyrick Mitchell? He's used to playing next to him at left back.
Yeah.
So you'd have that synergy. You'd have that left-hand side. They know how to play together. They've been playing with each other all season. He's a left back. He's English. I don't understand it. Why are we doing this? It is totally what Sven and Eriksson did with playing Scholes at left wing because he refused to not play 4-4-2 instead of playing three in midfield and getting all three of them in and actually maybe having some sort of synergy and playing them in their positions.
Yeah, you look at it just to say as well, like Eddie said, even bringing Conor Gallagher on or whatever, you've got where was it where you said it? You got Kobe Mainu, you got where has that comment gone? There's just players in that midfield. Where's it gone? Where has it bloody gone? Oh yeah, there it is. I think Wharton. I've been waxing lyrical about this kid. I mean, it's just this whole thing, and like I said as well, Cole Palmer not getting minutes when we know the season he's had. Yes, it's been penalties. Anthony Gordon, who's been sensational for his selections have just been shocking, haven't they, Ben?
Yeah. I don't understand the idea of it. I don't understand the ideas of playing players out of position. I don't understand playing two inverted players on the left-hand side. It's so obvious to me, and it's so for a man that's been managing for a very, very long time. He should know you don't play two inverted players on one side. You play one, but not the other. And this is a similar situation that's happened at Tottenham. Too many inverted players, so everything gets stuck in the centre. So there's no room to pass it. Whereas if he had an Anthony Gordon on that left-hand side, he'd have someone going down that left-hand side, an out ball.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I think we'll move on to positives. And I think we can wrap up positives and special mentions all in one hit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this for a second just so people realise.
Yeah.
And I think the only bloody thing is, like you said, Guehi.
Mark Guehi's fantastic.
He was
absolutely fantastic.
And do you know the bit I loved about it as well? There was even that bit deep in the second half. And actually, before we do this, I just want to say probably the truest comment of this entire stream and all the chat, again, being wonderful with each other and everything. But Desiree, this comment, I don't think truer words have been spoken. England never, ever, they just will not. I don't know what this is. Within this country, this great country that football is so goddamn important to, how England never seem to learn. Doesn't matter, again, like Spurs, doesn't matter what style of football, what kind of management, we don't learn from previous mistakes. But yeah, going back to Guehi, I'll go back to you in a second, Ben, but there was that part deep in the second half where he made a mistake.
But he recovered it, okay? He recovered
mate, that's what I was about to say. His recovery and to get that tackle in was incredible. And I'll let you quickly speak about Guehi. Then we got a super chat. Thank you, Vineet. Go on, Ben.
Guehi has been my player of the tournament so far.
Of the tournament? You mean for England?
For England.
I was about to say, bloody hell.
For England, I think he's so good. I think he's so good. And he's a player I now want to sign for Tottenham. He is on my list of 2 centre-backs I want to sign for Tottenham this summer because we do need a second. We do need a second left centre-back.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely phenomenal. His strength, his calmness, the passing, everything about this boy screams top defender. And I think he's going to be a top defender, whether it's for Crystal Palace or whether it's for the team he joins next. But this guy is an 80, 90 million pound defender now. because of his homegrown, because of his quality. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to see him in a Tottenham shirt, but we're not going to see it because of his price tag.
Yeah.
What a phenomenal player this guy is. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
He is. I'm just going to bring this super chat up. This will be interesting. And Vinny, thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Why is no one questioning Bellingham the most overrated player in the world? The PR behind him is so sick. Would be the worst day for football if he gets the Ballon d'Or. High time people call this fraud out. You go first, Ben.
I think you've gone well. I think that to call him the most overrated player in the world when a 20-year-old has captained Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League last summer, won the Champions League with Real Madrid, scoring the winning goal in 2 El Clasicos. To call him overrated is wrong at 20 years old. And being the best player for England in that first game as well. He's not a fraud. He's one of the best players in the world at his age. And yeah, it's a bit of a hot take, Vinique, to be honest. It's a bit of a hot take. I think he's brilliant. But all top players have off games. They have off games, especially when they're young. And he said anyone will win the CL with Real Madrid. Mourinho didn't win a Champions League with Real Madrid?
Do you know what I will say?
There have been a lot of players who have not won the Champions League with Madrid, but they've won it. They've owned it the last 5 years. To call Bellingham overrated, most overrated player in the world, is a bit. That's targeting him a bit. There are far more overrated players than him.
Yeah. Listen, my take on this, first of all, I'm kind of in agreement with what you've just put after one, saying anyone will win the Champions League with Madrid. Let's face it, you go there, that's a necessity to them, like us getting top 4 is for us. That is like you win the Champions League or at least get to the final, and they are, like it or not, whether it's through finances or help from outside sources with the money they owe, whatever. If we asked every single football fan in world football, name the first Champions League team that comes to your head, you're going to say Real Madrid. You're a huge majority. Now, I am a huge fan of Bellingham's. Huge. His rise has been meteoric. He has come from Birmingham. Obviously, he had the balls to go over to Dortmund to prove himself. Got his move, and his performances have warranted that. Like Ben said, every footballer is going to have a bad day.
Especially in his 20s, 20 years of age.
Yeah, Ben, I think he's sensational. But the thing is, what I will say is if you look at Jude Bellingham, his rise has been like when we had Dele. Obviously, it's worked differently for Jude because he's gone to different clubs. But I mean, how he just blasted onto the scene and just literally... So I don't want to say a purple patch, but you know what I'm trying to say, because what we'll see, Vinny, if he goes through next season and doesn't light up like he did, like Gareth Bale did in his second, third season, it's how I think you can only start saying that once he has a little dip in form and how he comes back and how he gets himself out of it. How he gets himself out of that, should that happen? I mean, obviously, he can't keep at this level non-stop. There will be a time where he simply does dip in form or picks up an injury. I think then and only then is when you can speak. But do you know what? Because his rise has been so big, obviously everyone wants a piece of him, Adidas and everyone. So I can get what he's trying to say with the PR and everything, but I do think... writing him off right now is a bit tough, but thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Now, before we get on to Southgate, I do want to talk about one thing. I'm going to bring up a subject here. I'm not going to put it in as the a ban or anything, but I want to talk about the BBC and their commentating or the coverage, Lineker, Sheeran, whatever, and the way they went at Kane. And listen, one of the things that I realised when I left... One of the things I loved, or I didn't realise when I left England, is obviously when you're in England and you're surrounded by everything that goes on in England, we all know how bad the press is, especially when it comes to football and footballers, and especially England. They are piranhas, they are vultures, they are sharks just circling round. And if you're doing well, you can walk on water. But the second things are going rough, they turn their back and will literally stab you in the back over and over again. And how Harry Kane and Alan Shearer, who won precisely F all for England, and tried and know what it's like to play England, to go at Harry Kane. Listen, Harry Kane will always hold a special place in our hearts. Everyone watching here, apart from obviously people like Anthony, big up to you, sir, who's an Arsenal fan, and others. For Spurs, Harry Kane, you say a bad word about Harry Kane, obviously we want to defend him. We want to...
England don't deserve Harry Kane.
It's not even that, mate. It's not even that. I just don't understand how a prick like Gary Lineker, because he's a prick away from football, and Alan Shearer, and Alan Shearer's record stands for itself.
Yeah.
They know what it's like to be in a tournament and not succeed or not get off to the best of starts. And they have the audacity to sit there and talk about someone who has surpassed their goal scoring achievements in less caps,
less games,
and obliterated their record. And because the whole of England had a shit game, the first thing you want to do is target the greatest striker
who scored
on stats.
Who scored?
And I can't stand how the BBC... And listen, if it was on ITV, do you know what? I wish it had been on ITV, because one person I know that would have stuck up for him, unbelievably, Gary Lineker, ex-Spurs England legend, won't. Ian Wright, ex-Arsenal, straight down the middle. Gary Neville would have said, you know what? They would have stuck up. And listen, this isn't about me and defending Kane. It's how the BBC have the nerve and the audacity. You know, there's sometimes Ben. There's things I've said, Ben, and this will be my last thing, and then I'll let you speak. There's times that I have said things on YouTube, or mainly on YouTube, because this is the best way to do it. Obviously, it's live and it's on camera and whatever, where I've started saying things and I've realised I shouldn't be saying this, but I've gone past the point of no return.
Yeah.
And I've got to continue what I was saying. But I don't know how Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer had the audacity to speak how they did yesterday. Ben, you crack on, buddy, while I go through some comments.
Yeah. This is the BBC trying to govern the agenda again. And they're known for this in all facets of what they do. The BBC is a very powerful organisation. And to put the entire blame on one player who scored in the game, by the way, he had one chance. He was given one chance and he scored it. To put the entire blame on one player when there are far more players that have had worse games than him, it's unacceptable. And the BBC need to be defunded because of many facets of reasons, which we won't get into because it's not a political show.
Yep.
The BBC is an unacceptable organisation. It's an unacceptable organisation. And the time when Gary Lineker is sacked, the day Gary Lineker is sacked, I'm holding the biggest party on the planet. But he'll never be sacked. He's a scumbag. I don't like him. We don't like him here on Tottenham on Tour. And the BBC can just sod off.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's loads of people here. Let's just go through these. This is the thing. And do you know what? I speak, or we all speak, a lot about why Harry Kane left Tottenham. And I think we all know, without going into this, because it ain't a Tottenham show. Oh, it is a Tottenham show, but just not this show. I don't, but as I was saying with the English press and what you used to there, once I've stepped back here and the English press mean nothing to me apart from what I see, you see just how bad the English press is. It's like you look at it, the sports stars here, the hockey players, the NFL players. Yeah, if they do something wrong in their personal life, they'll be on them.
Yeah.
But they do not get the treatment that they do. And I was just mortified. And I don't understand how people... Big up, Alan, brother. I hope you're good. Everyone...
Big up, Alan.
Everyone, Alan's show, great channel, time added on. If you haven't been there, I strongly recommend it. He does a lot of good stuff, and I hope Alan is good and will have a great weekend, buddy, and look forward to getting you on Evening Brews next week or the week after. Yeah. Right, let's get on to the main event.
I've actually got another special mention before we get on to...
Oh, go on, buddy, and I think we've got another super chat as well, so we'll deal with that.
Another super chat, but I've got another special mention.
Go on.
That pitch, my God, was it bad. That was a terrible pitch. It's a surprise. That was a really... I mean, apparently they've resurfaced it recently, which is why it cut up so much. Because when you have a new pitch, it has to harden and stuff like that. Why didn't they water it properly before the game? That was one of the worst pitches I've ever seen in a football match. And that
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Time Out.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Alan.
Okay, there you go. We just thought we'd give Alan's voice has made it. Alan's voice has made it into the background.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Alan.
That'll go in the blooper reel.
That'll go in the blooper reel. That pitch was unacceptable. That was I'm not going to blame the result on that pitch, but that was a really bad pitch.
Yep, it was. It was. Let's see if there's any other comments. Exactly. Kane bloody well scored yesterday. Yeah. Oh, mate, when Kane, did you see Lampard's face? Yeah. Lampard's face when Lineker disrespected him a couple of days ago was one of the funniest things. Bang on, Philly. Bang on. And, mate, listen, there's a lot of people just saying about Harry Kane. Oh, one of my nearest. Big up, Craig, brother, has made it into the building. There you go. And you've even made it onto the show. Somehow
the show. The mustard wall is here.
So, yeah, it's always here. So, I'll bring up Vinicius again. Sad how England treats players like Grealish and Palmer. How that scrubs Saka, I don't know what that means. I mean, Saka, to start off with, has been playing very, very well for England. This may be a Spurs channel. He's tired out and got... but I agree, starting every game over Palmer. Rice too is another overrated. But, okay, Vinny, listen, I appreciate that you're probably a Spurs fan. I appreciate the comments.
I don't think Rice and Saka were that bad.
Not even were they that bad. Rice, most definitely is not overrated. I'm not having it, and I hate. I not hate. That's the wrong word. I can't see how people say he's overrated. The only way I can see that he's overrated, he's a Chelsea fan. He's okay, fair play. Listen, I can understand where you're coming from with Cole Palmer. I can completely understand it. He at least deserves minutes. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. But I have to say that Saka has played well for England. I can see why Saka's in the England team. Declan Rice walks into the England team. Literally walks.
He's playing too far deep.
Colin's got a great point. You look at it, some players have got the perfect partnership. It's kind of like when we had, like we're talking about with the Scholes and Lampard, Gerrard and Lampard.
Kane and Son.
They need, but yeah, Rice, listen, if someone offered me Declan Rice at Tottenham, I'm biting your hand off, I'm breaking your legs. I think he's a wonderful player. I think he's a wonderful human as well. But it is, we really have got, if you look at the array of quality we have attacking wise, there are so many options there, yet we don't use them. It's ridiculous. But now let's deal with this man. And people in the comments, feel free to go nuts. I'll be bringing them up, or Ben will be bringing up. All I will say is a very, very good friend of mine, Billy Carnes, who is part of the Levy Out group that I stand proudly with, that you stand proudly with, Ben, as well as others, put out a tweet yesterday and said, has a manager ever been sacked halfway through a tournament asking for a friend as a joke? And I responded, well, Tottenham can sack a manager at half time, so anything's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. If there was a manager ready in the wings to say, right, okay, I think Colin wants Gareth Southgate to, mate, I'd be careful. You never know. Hopefully Southgate will be out of a job. You're currently looking for a manager.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know with football. But honestly, I'm not joking. If we could get a manager in, if someone had said to an Eddie Howe, even a goddamn Harry Redknapp with this team, listen, I don't see, and we will talk about it, and I'm going to let Ben talk about it first. This was a sackable offence for me. Yeah. This alone was a sackable offence for having the nerve. I actually thought, Ben, that when that came out, it was one of those AI videos that have been doing the rounds. I thought, this would have come out of something from Trigger, from Only Fools and Horses. That's how bad this excuse was. Ben, over to you, brother, with Gareth goddamn Southgate.
As I put in the title, he is the most boring football manager of all time. He is the most boring football manager of all time. I hate watching his football. I hate it. He has made quality footballers look very average. How many good footballers that walk into the best teams in the world do we have? And he's making them look average. Declan Rice walks into any football team in the world. Any football team in the world, he's made him look average. Jude Bellingham walks into every big football team on the planet at the moment, makes him look average. Phil Foden walks into every major football team in the planet, makes him look average. And the list goes on. Every single top player is being made to look average because of this paint drying, pencil pushing, waistcoat wearing charlatan of a coach. He is unacceptable. Unacceptable. The fact that out of all the managers we have in England that could do this job better than him, the fact that he is doing this job and he is wasting the best crop of talent that this country has ever produced. He is wasting it because he can't do simple things. Play players in their right position, defend properly, pass the ball to each other. Play your number 9, the best number 9 in the world, where he should be playing. It is a sham. The person that employed Gareth Southgate should be imprisoned for crimes towards football.
Mate, you have to say,
unbelievably bad.
I agree. I have to say, Daniel, listen, I might start calling Calvin Phillips Dave because of Trigger. I might start calling Southgate Trigger. He was a Spurs fan, Dan, and for people that don't know, if you remember that video before games where it goes, we are Greaves, Mabbott, Hoddle, we are the 40-yard flip with a flick with a 35-yard free kick. That is Trigger's voice. That is Roger Lloyd-Pack. Listen, I don't... Some people say there was a manager sacked halfway during the African Cup of Nations. Phil. Big up, Phil.
Hollywood Phil.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Phil P, but it's Hollywood Phil, isn't it? Listen, you look at it, people are mentioning managers available right now. Like, whether it was to be England's next manager or could potentially go, in my head as a dream, go out there. Yeah, you're right, Tom 81. That is an insult to Trigger, actually, because he's my favourite character. I think you're right. But Poch could do a great job with this squad. Potter could do a great job with this squad.
Mourinho would do a job with this
squad. I still think, honestly, and listen, let's have a little conversation right now about who we think could do well at England. And I'm saying my number one pick, although I don't think it's going to, you never know when it's your country. I would immediately say, Eddie Howe, what's it going to take to get you out of Newcastle?
Yeah.
I think Eddie Howe, with this array of talent, would be incredible. Would be incredible. I honestly think, because as Tom will know, Jesse March is the what the hell? Canadian, I don't know what that was, Canadian manager. And obviously we saw how he played with Leeds. People who would have seen Canada in the World Cup would have seen how attack-minded Canada were. It was their first World Cup. They're obviously minnows in a World Cup, but they left everything out on the pitch. And Canada did it yesterday against Argentina, against Messi, against Romero, against some of the best, against the world champions.
Yeah.
And they just went, bang, we're going to give it. I don't know why we...
That's an amazing shout, by the way.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what? If we'd done it when he left Arsenal,
yeah,
maybe. I think too much time has gone. But if we could get the Arsene Wenger that left Arsenal all day long. But I personally think I can see him getting linked to it. Klopp, I think he is waiting for Germany. Yeah. I think he is going to have a rest, and the next job he takes is the German national coach. Mate, Philly, they were absolutely brilliant. If Tom 81 is here, and he is, Canada were absolutely awesome. I'm so proud of what they did. But yeah, for me, Ben, who would your choice be? If Gareth, forget the right now, and we sacked him, and we needed an emergency manager. Who would be your number one pick for next England manager?
I would possibly go with a foreign coach.
Okay.
The FA is never going to do that again. But I would like to see a foreign coach. I'm trying to think of names. I'd bring in Mancini. I'd bring in someone like a Mancini, someone like a Mourinho, someone that's won at the highest level, and someone that can coach a potential English coach to take over from him. One of the things that Pep Guardiola is doing is he's being the coach's coach. He's coaching all these, which is why you're seeing Vincent Kompany being the Bayern Munich manager now. You've seen Arteta become the Arsenal manager. We need a coach that may be a bit older, that's a bit more experienced, and it's going to coach the coaches to be the next coaches of England. I think it's going to be Graham Potter. I think Graham Potter will be the guy that's going to be the next manager. I would like to see someone like a Roberto Mancini to be the manager, someone that's done it at the highest level, but of course, he's got a very cushy job as the manager of Saudi Arabia at the moment, Mancini. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I want someone in that vein, someone that's won at the highest level, but might not be someone like a name like a Mourinho or a Pep. Someone that's won it, but someone that's sort of still a bit of a humble. But I think it's going to be Graham Potter. I think Graham Potter is a smart choice to be the next England manager. But I think we can do better.
So there we go. Right, we're going to start going through the questions. Ben, I've got the starred ones. If any other questions come in, star them, and I'll bring the questions up. So this could be England. If you want to talk Tottenham briefly, feel free. Now is the time. First one's from Eddie, and it wasn't a question, but news came through, and he tweeted, and I started immediately. Nico Williams has a 56 million release clause via Fabrizio. Now, I like Nico Williams. I really do like Nico Williams. I think he's hot and cold, but I think there's a potential for him to be great. 56 million
pounds a week, though, Brian. He's on.
Well, no, this is the thing. This is what he's wanting. Apparently, we're not paying it. We are not paying 300 grand a week. 250 we may push to, but I don't know if, like in the old days, people like Son have in their contract that they have to be the highest earner, so it's moving them up. How much does 56 million euros work out in pounds, roughly? You're on mute.
Let me look. Pounds to euros. 56 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 47 million pounds.
Okay, so we're looking at 13 plus, yeah, so almost 21 cheaper than Eze, who people will know I adore and love. I think he has really good potential. Like I saw in a comment there, someone saying yesterday against Italy yesterday, he was magnificent.
Yeah.
But those games, listen, he's very, very skillful. He's very, very good to watch on the eye and taking on plays. He's very adventurous. He just needs to work on his consistency for me. But that release fee is obviously going to alert a lot of people. Daniela, it's time to answer your... Italy just couldn't attack due to the pressure they were under. We'll bounce back on Monday versus Croatia and go straight through to the round of 16. Let me know if the panel thinks this is the case. Ben, you first.
I was really disappointed with the Italian result yesterday because I do have a vested interest in wanting Italy to win because I love Italy. I love Italy so much. I think Italy will get through. I think they've done enough to get through. I think they played some great football yesterday. But that Spanish team is so good at the moment. That Spanish team is probably the one that's going to win it. I said that Italy would be dark horses in there. I think Italy will get through. This Croatia team does not look good at the moment. It really doesn't look good. And I think Italy will do it. But I see Italy going through. I think Italy will finish second. And yeah. I think they will do well. They will learn from this. They are a young team playing a new style of football, and it's great.
So yeah, I mean, I think Italy. I mean, I also think Croatia have been so poor.
Yeah,
I think that's been a huge advantage. That will be, a huge advantage to Italy. I can't see anything but Italy going through with this one. Very unlucky with the own goal. I joked with a couple of people and said Spurs are linked with him and Calafiori scores an own goal. How Spursy do you want it? He could do nothing with that goal. But I have to say, I am so impressed with Spain. And that 16-year-old Yamal, Jesus Christ, which just goes to show people, and I'm not making major comparisons, but when people say Mikey Moore is too young, Mikey Moore needs this, Mikey Moore needs that. If you've got it, you've got it. Mikey Moore has got it. Yes, we have to be very careful with him. But this guy is not only playing for Spain, he is starring for Spain. But Daniela's question mainly was about Italy. Yeah, I think it was just a bad day at the office at Italy. And you look at it, Spain are purring at the moment.
Yeah.
Spain, this wasn't like us playing Denmark and we should have won. This is a game you went into, and it's a clash of two massive footballing nations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Italy will be fine, not only because you're a better team, but I think Croatia have been so poor. Whoever got Croatia in our sweepstakes. And talking of that, thanks to the great response and appreciation for our Euros one.
Yeah.
We will be doing one. I've just got to confirm with Ryan and Ben a time to do it where we're going to do a wrap up at the end of the group stage and predictions for the quarterfinals. But we will sort that out. We'll have a discussion. That will be back because we really enjoyed that show. Next one from Daniela.
Yes.
Brian, what do you make of Steve Cooper's appointment?
I think it's the wrong appointment, but I can see why they've put him. I think Graham Potter is a lot more demanding of what he wants from his footballing, from his football club. I think he expected a lot of things to be the manager of Leicester, to drop down a level because he was at Chelsea before. And I think Steve Cooper is a good manager for them. And if Leicester do happen to go down, which is possible because they're starting on negative points because they've been given a points deduction, he can manage in the Championship as well, if need be. So it's a good appointment. I think Potter would have been a better manager for them.
So I'll speak quite a bit on what's going on Leicester at the moment. I mentioned it in yesterday's show, but I'll go on to it. I think Steve Cooper is a very, very good manager. I really do. I would have stuck with him at Forest, especially rather than Nuno. He's going to Leicester. Obviously, I've got people will know from this channel, Wayne Holland, a very good friend of ours, who's a diehard Leicester fan. Potter was the one they wanted. I can't believe Cooper got it over Potter, to be serious, to be honest. But he's going in there right now, and Leicester fans, from what Wayne is telling me, this game is going to be quite spicy with the atmosphere, with the possibility as well as a lot of people not attending, because Leicester and their fans are absolutely furious with the ownership for price rising, ticket prices. And so I don't know all the ins and outs, but Leicester, and he was showing me some things, Leicester are ready to unite together as a fan base and protest at how they think the club is being run. And you have to remember, with these Leicester owners, they've done a lot of good for that city and that club. But Leicester are ready to mount a charge and an assault against their ownership, to stand up for what's right and the cost of living and the prices. So it will be his first game. Obviously, it's the Winks and Madison crossover derby. Steve Cook, this game is going to be, and I believe from what we saw on the fixture list, it's going to be Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah. Daniela, we're going to send you your hat-trick ball. Question along with my first Italy comment. Do you see Italy as dark horses? Well, Ben, you're going to say...
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, just
Italia.
I have to say, this man, if this man says anything regarding ex-Forest people or current Forest people, listen to him. This is Colin Crossamano. I'm going to have to start calling him when it comes to...
Fabrizio Rodmano and now in Colin Crossario.
Yeah, Colin Crossamano is coming through. When he mentions anything to do with Forest, keep your eyes peeled. But yeah, do I see Italy as dark horses? It's so whenever I think of the word dark horses, I don't see how you could put Italy as a dark horse in anything because of their history, because of their stature in international football. I know what Daniela's trying to say, and I appreciate that.
There are a few teams I think you expect more. Yeah,
but my brain just doesn't compute the word Italy and dark horses. But I totally get why she's saying it. There's a few teams in world football you just say never count them out.
Yeah.
Because one thing Italy will do, and have the knowledge, and fairly recent as well, obviously the current holders of this tournament, of the trophy, is the big teams, when it matters most, they pull through. And I'm sure Italy will. D&B forever. Alan Shearer suggesting Kane should retire from international football in his match summary. I mean...
Sod off.
I mean... This guy, the guy, from what I remember, Shearer actually retired from international football and then carried on for a few years, whatever. Alan, that was your decision. No one forced you to do it. No one asked you to do it, or maybe your family did, or your doctors, or Newcastle.
This man is an agenda against Harry Kane.
Yeah, I listen. It's ridiculous, and he may not be a Spurs player now, but we, as soon as anyone would say this, normally we would all go nuts across all social media. Because it's our boy, because it's our talisman.
Yeah.
He's not a Tottenham player anymore, so I don't feel as inclined to do it as much or go on a rant or but you can't say this stuff. You cannot say this stuff. Listen, this is a guy who joked about and put a meme up of him being the pilot of his plane to Germany, so his record doesn't get touched.
He's got an agenda.
Yeah, it's not on. And then Philly, this is another. Look at this guy. Tomori goes over to Italy, wins the league, gets the Champions League semi-final the year after, and yet still can't get into the England team. Yeah. I don't know why Tomori has not been looked at.
I don't care if they're playing in foreign leagues, except for Bellingham, apparently.
Well, you see, well, listen.
When I will criticise them, but Tomori should be given a chance because he's a good defender in the hardest defending league in the world. And he should be given a chance.
He should be, but you say that, and what I will say is we don't. Listen, Sancho got in when he was at Dortmund. The German league there, I can't remember. Do we have What was the last player that was playing in Italy that got into the England team? Aside from tomorrow, I know he's got into a friendly team or something.
Who's English players? Paul Ince played for Inter.
Yeah, but surely there's someone since Ince and Gaza.
No,
there must be.
No.
There must be. Who? Well, we'll come back to that, but it's just insane. Eddie, wait, there was a question from Daniela that I needed to start. Oh no, we're going to do that in a second, Daniela.
We are going to end in 5 minutes, though, Aki. So don't.
If questions come in, I'll continue because if questions come in, they come in. Eddie, unfortunately, you can't join the Sweet. We put out a community post just before the Euros saying if you want to be in for a chance to win the Tottenham on Tour T-shirt, respond to our community post with the magic words. But we will be doing more of these T-shirt giveaways and competitions. So just keep an eye on our community page.
That's one.
There you go. Well done, Rich.
Beckham was already an England player, and he was already.
Yeah, but still, it was. It's like we don't look at these leagues. But Daniela, you do both realise that Cooper's first opponent of the season will have Johnson in the squad. I hope we get much better quality winger. We need a lot, along with many other. Listen, we're not going to talk
Tottenham today because it's an England show.
So what I will say with this is Brennan Johnson, I stand by. I stand by Brennan Johnson. I always stand by what I say, Daniela, whether people want to agree with me. Oh, there you go. There's another one. Ashley Young at Inter. Well done, audio. Well done.
Another one.
So, as I say,
Ashley Young was another player that played for England before.
Yeah, but they're still out there. It means they're being looked at and counted. So it means, why isn't Tomori being looked at? Because Tomori is doing well. But going back to Johnson, Daniela, I always say that I will judge a player after they've had a full pre-season with the current manager. And Brennan Johnson came on the last day of the window. Yes, he should have done better in certain situations. 15 goal contributions in his first season. Yes, it could have been a lot more.
And it would have been 10 more if Timo Werner wasn't on the end of those crosses.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm willing. We'll see what he does in the after pre-season. That will be the season I judge him. And if he has the same season where he's not as he doesn't up his game, then I will be the same as you. But I always want better at the club. So if we can get better, bring better. And of course, Ryan, this is not a question, just a statement. Happy CM Punk Day. Why is it CM Punk Day?
I don't know. Maybe the day he re-debuted. I don't know.
Who knows? All I will say is I'm still waiting for Stone Cold Steve Austin to get back to me from my picture outside a pub called The Bottom Line. And I stole his line, and I said because Brian Dagul said so. But that will wrap up the show. Just so you know, later on today, Dave will be on with his. Okay. That's why. How is it? Okay, so the Conor Gallagher, or should I say, Dagul, stalker, has just made something up. Because he's returning to SmackDown, that's a whole day to him.
Gallagher sucked last night.
So yeah, he did. But don't tell that to Ryan; it'll hurt his feelings. But what I will say is, Dave will be back with his transfer show, Transfers on Tour, later today. I'm not too sure if it's pre-recorded or going live, but that will be out around 6 p.m. UK time. I am now on vacation until Tuesday night. You won't see me again unless anything major breaks, because I am off now to celebrate my birthday tomorrow, and most importantly, and I do mean most importantly, my 10th wedding anniversary to the love of my life, my happy ever after, the woman that puts up with my shenanigans, my tantrums, my mood swings, my travels, my everything. She is my everything. I haven't been, last 2 years I've been in England, so I haven't been able to celebrate my birthday and anniversary with the woman of my life. So I will be back Tuesday for Evening Brews. There will be an Evening Brews for you guys, but it'll probably be Dave and someone, or Ben and someone.
Probably Ben and Dave.
to be confirmed. Obviously, Ben will be back with Dave for Morning Brews on Monday.
Yeah.
I've just Tuesday's England as well. So Wednesday will be another snooze fest Anglo Management.
Yeah.
Ben, final comments and slogan?
So firstly, we are going to be redirecting to Just a Girl We Love Spurs. Kate and Jim are on at the moment, so give them a bit of love. We've gone at the same time as them because this is our only time we can really do this. So give them some over there. Brewing Bollocks will be live later with myself, Coover, and Bobby K. Hopefully, or we'll do something. We can just have a chill stream and just have a laugh as we usually do. But thank you all so much for watching today's show. Have a great rest of your day. And just like I did, and we are Tottenham TV. We're not big time yet, and as always, if you smell what the Kauff is brewing,
and I will say thank you for all the great comments and wishes in the comments. So thank you very much indeed. And I will say, and I'm going to do it differently today because it's Anglo Management, but I'm going to say, comment. Actually, the one thing I do want to say, sorry, before I do this, is, guys, I'm so proud, or we are so proud of this community that we're building. So proud that you guys take time out of your busy days to spend time with us and have us in your workplace, your phone, when you're at the gym or at home just chilling. You have no idea how much it means to us. We're getting our consistency back. We're doing everything. If I could just ask for one thing, please like the show. The more likes you give us, the more it gets put out. The more it gets put out, the more people we attract, which is what we're trying to do. So your chat game is absolutely out of this world. If we can reflect that in the likes, that would make my day, our day. But now I will end it. So like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Southgate out. Tottenham Talk.